What's going on, family? Your girl Stichiz here, and I am excited. Haitian Greatness Televised, highlighting and showcasing just pillars in our community doing great things in their field. Haitian Americans impacting in a major way. And I am grateful because this young man always be on the go. He be always behind the cameras, but now we got him in front of the cameras. Ladies and gentlemen, my brother from another brother, Mr. Ted. Whoa, Ted, give me that number, give me that number, give me that number. TeddsPro, aka O'Chanel.
Oshel.
O'Shell.
Yes.
I have to say that right. O'Shell.
That's my Haitian name.
That's your
That's
zone
my
name.
real Haitian name. A lot of people don't even know my real name.
O'Shell. Well, they know now, brother. They know now. So, Ted, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm excited because we always talk, but we never can get you in front of the camera. And you're a beast with the lenses, bro. So, for those who are really being introduced to you for the very first time, tell us who TeddsPro is. Where are you from?
I'm actually Haitian. I've been a videographer for a while.
How long?
Cinematographer. I started in 2015.
2015.
But around that time, I was actually using my phone.
Okay.
I had
iPhone?
iPhone.
Okay.
Well, actually, Samsung Galaxy at first.
Okay.
But the quality wasn't to par.
Okay.
So I got me a little iPhone.
Okay.
And it was one of those old school iPhone with the square, and I was just using it like a real camera. So I practiced with my daughter.
One, like doing like this. You
Look,
that one? Okay.
I went in there like I was on a real camera. I don't care. That's how dedicated I was and passionate I was about having it. Because I dreamed about having a camera, but then again, that wasn't something that I grew up. I thought I would ever be, because when I was in high school, I had television production, and I've never paid attention to that class. So, that is one of my regrets, that
you weren't focused in
that
that
I wasn't
class.
focused on something that I didn't take serious, and then I'm doing it for a living.
But no regrets, because look what you're doing now. We're going to get into all the things that you have happening. So when you were in school, you have siblings too, eh? Mm-hmm. You were in school. What were you into if it wasn't production at that time?
I thought I was gonna go into criminal justice.
Oh wow!
I was gonna be a police officer.
Really?
Before I was like really bulky and cocky, but that was during one of my hardest time in life.
What was going
through
on?
the foster system.
Okay.
Being taken away by random strangers, I would say, and they separate your whole family. They're telling you that you're gonna be with all your family when you're not. They just separate all of us. So that traumatized me, growing up. But at the same time, it motivated me, actually built me to who I am today.
And how old were you at that time?
I do not recall. I might have been 11 or 12, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. But I was in middle school around that time.
And this is Broward County, Florida, or Miami-Dade?
Miami. I was going to Horseman Middle School.
Okay. So let's backtrack a little bit, because like I said, I want to take people through your journey, because a lot of people don't know about TeddsPro, and how you even got that name, because O'Shell and Ted.
Long story short.
Before we get there, before we even get there, we're in middle school, and then you mentioned that you had to be taken from your family or separated from your family. Can you delve just a little deep, so you never know who's watching?
It was a little bit of fidelity side on my dad's part.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And he had a baby with another woman.
Okay.
And brought her into our home and said that was our cousin. And later on, my mom found out that wasn't. So that just went left.
How did you handle that as a kid?
I didn't know any better. I mean, I was a kid.
Right.
But everything started changing with me. It was like, I think it was a Friday, coming from school. I'm happy to go play Nintendo. 64, Mortal Kombat. I'm happy to go home, and then I see tears in my mother's eye and worry, and I'm like, that doesn't look right. And then she said, we have to go to this place, and they're gonna ask you, if your dad hit you, say no. So I'm like, but dad do hit us, Mom. Like, I'm a kid. I don't know any better, but that's just
Right.
what came out my mouth.
But was it hit, not to pry too much, but was it regular discipline or?
I mean, I have marks on my skin.
Oh, wow.
I'm not saying he's a bad person, but I guess
Yeah.
that's how he disciplined us.
Okay.
So I thought I was normal, but I guess when you come here in the States,
Yeah.
it's just a whole different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened. We went to the office, and then they asked us how lied. And I did have a fresh cut on me, but it wasn't through my dad. It was like me being on the street playing around, and I hurt
Okay.
myself. But
Being a kid.
yeah, being a kid. So they was like, "Where did you get this mark?" I was like, "Oh, I was playing, And I think an hour later or less than an hour later, we see a van pull up.
Oh, wow.
We see. Well, they investigated. Well, they questioned all my brothers and sisters too. So it was just confusing, like police outside your door knocking. Of course, we locked the door. We didn't know what was happening.
Wow. And you were a kid at this time. You're still in middle school.
Middle school.
Wow.
And brothers and sisters are like confused. My second oldest sister that's under me, she put up a fight. She put up a fight.
Wow.
And then they pretty much put us in a van. My dad got arrested. My mom crying. She Haitian, so yeah,
No. And we love Mama. Shout out to Mama.
she was going through it. And then they took us away, and we pulling up to this random house that I don't know. It just feels unreal. And then, well, before they told us we were all gonna be together.
And then you ended
And then it was like, oh, you come with me, and they're already splitting us.
Oh.
So that right there is like took me by like what, where are we going?
Yeah.
And it's some random house we don't even know. It just feels unreal, like a movie. And I found out they were Haitian too.
Okay.
So they were Haitian, but I guess until this day, I think they were just in it for the money.
Okay.
There was not no love. But I think the foster people that my brothers and sisters they were like more so like buying them with things, because we grew up poor in the trailer park.
Right.
And
So they got showered with gifts.
they got showered with gifts.
How was your experience?
My
with the
experience
home?
was just like, we in a room. You come out when we have food for you.
Okay.
We couldn't go outside. We couldn't go in the backyard. It was just feels like jail. So it was time for us to go back to school. So a whole random stranger's taking us to school, and going back to school, I had a friend who I thought who was my friend.
Yeah.
And he was aware of the situation.
Okay.
And,
someone you trusted with
Yeah,
with your situation.
yeah.
Right.
And
What happened?
he took it as a joke.
Oh.
So he used to try to like play with me.
Oh.
So
What did that sound like? What did he do? If
Oh,
you're
it's-
okay to share.
it's just like, cause I remember, man, rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
But I remember, one of those days where like I guess my dad just, I don't know, I guess try to discipline me for something that I did. And I'm getting my baton, what they call it, here, my baton.
It's a
And I see this kid.
Discipline,
I
yeah.
see this kid in the window like this.
Oh.
That right there. Look,
What did that do for you at that
I was
age?
angry.
Oh, wow.
I was angry.
Okay. Did that anger, and thank you for being transparent and sharing your story, did that anger showcase in a certain way as far as behavior in school? How did that translate?
I don't know. I just wanted to be in trouble.
Okay.
I don't know why.
So you
It's
were
like I
acting
was
out
looking
throughout that.
forward
Okay.
to being in trouble. But I think that was towards my high school.
Okay.
So I was acting up in high school. I did have a principal who was, I forgot his name, but he wouldn't let me get suspended. I've tried to skip. I got caught by a security guard. And but really, I would say who really kind of like helped me. I wish I could meet him this day.
Who is
His
it?
name is Mr. Osborne.
What school?
Miami Edison Senior.
Okay, Mr. Osborne.
Mr. Osborne.
Okay, we got to find out Mr.
So
Osborne.
that's someone who I would like to actually see, meet
Okay.
again, and say thank you.
All
'Cause
right.
he was the guy who was doing television production and pretty much kind of like introduced me to
The production world.
The editing softwares.
Okay.
And I was doing the morning announcements in the morning.
What was it? Do you remember the first thing you said?
Oh, no.
What? What was the first thing you said? You don't remember?
I don't know. It was
What
the script. I was reading the teleprompter.
What was the voice?
I was reading the teleprompter.
Okay, you got to say.
But that's how I got my name, Teddy. Because the girls was like, oh, you look like a teddy bear. And I was like, ha, 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 ha. And then I guess I kind of ran with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I guess I'm cute, whatever. And then the guys were trying to call me Teddy. I was like, nah, we're not doing that. So I said, call me Ted. So I just ran with it.
With Ted's. So and then Pro came from because you're a pro at what you do.
Well, TeddsPro came from Tedds Promotion, really, at first.
Okay.
But since I got into videography, I'm like TeddsPro Production.
So let's backtrack a bit. So we were in middle school. We're separated from our family. Mm-hmm. You have this friend that we trusted. And did you ever reconnect with the friend after that?
I mean, he was my neighbor.
Oh. Did you guys ever reconnect or?
We were cordial, but
okay.
I mean,
that kind of stayed.
I did, got back with him, but it was in the wrong way.
Okay.
Around that time I was like more of a ladies' man, so I took his girl.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay, but you're not the same now.
Oh no,
okay.
No.
Man of God now, now. Okay.
Most definitely.
Lord,
but we're just being.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we kind of separated a bit, but you get to high school, and then Mr. Osborne introduces you to video production. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the moment that you were involved in TV production or
just being in that room? And
what was that first time that you were like, oh, this? What did you see?
As far as like
that made you feel like,
me like I could do
I'm
this?
Doing this.
Do you remember? A friend of mine who actually started this, he was the one who was doing videography, and I was playing promoter, and he didn't like to be posted for some reason. He was like, man, I don't want to be Hollywood. So I don't know what the mentality was about, but that's what he thought. I've got called paparazzi. I mean, growing up in the hood, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
With that Hollywood, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what? But it was in Hollywood until I actually started bringing people to shoot videos. Mm-hmm. So I played manager role and stuff like that. And I guess he kind of like got tired of it and didn't take it serious anymore. And I just took off. I just started doing it for myself.
But when did you know? When did you catch that bug? Sometimes you have singers who sing for the first time in front of, their parents or what have you. But for you, going into that production class with Mr. Osborne, what gravitated
being in front of that screen?
Oh, you wanted to be in front. And now look at this guy. Don't never want to be in front now.
But that was something like when you were a kid, you like always wondering like how these people do it on TV. And
right.
You're like there. So it was like, wow, cool.
So back then you wanted to be in front of the camera. When did you switch?
I didn't mind.
If y'all only knew what it took for me to get in, okay. What switched for you to get behind the camera?
The love for it, really. Mm-hmm. It just came naturally. I just saw something different in other people. Like, for example, I've been on these big productions, and they shoot it with these expensive cameras. And then when I see the video, and I'm like,
how'd you do that? Like, what's happening?
It doesn't look it doesn't look how I thought it was going to look.
Right,
so I've always seen it differently than other people. But yeah, I think that's kind of like
how you saw something through the lenses.
I saw something through the lens.
Ooh, that's good. I don't know what that feels like.
But my mother was actually the first person who actually helped me buy my first camera.
Tell us.
Because I was working with a local artist. His name was Seven. Mm-hmm. And I was pretty much traveling with him. He bought the camera and he just let me use it.
Okay.
So I was working with him. It was cordial at first.
Shout out to Seven. Okay.
Yeah, it was cordial at first, and then I guess things didn't work out, and then I ended up calling my mom like, hey, I need to buy this camera. And, I know our situation. I know her situation.
Right.
But something was in me telling me, like, just ask her.
Ask her. Oh.
So she like, oh, son, I don't have it. And then I'm like, okay, no problem. And then I guess she just said, you know what, just come.
Oh.
And she gave me $800.
To get your camera.
Yeah.
So how was that for you? Because we know l'école l'église la caille and doctor, lawyer, engineer. being a videographer was not a part of the equation
My
in
mom,
the Haitian household. How did that?
Not until recently she started knowing that I actually do videography.
Oh, so she
I
thought you was
2014. From when I started around 27, really, I did my first biggest music video. They paid me like it was a like a drug transaction, a big bag of Louis money full of money, and it was like $10,000.
And you brought that home?
No, I didn't brought that home. So around that time I wasn't living at home. I was living on my own. So.
But what did she think you were doing before videography?
She was aware because she know that she bought me the camera.
Right.
But she didn't see like it was a career.
Something to make him happy.
Yeah, you know Haitians, they want you to be police officers, lawyers.
So
and
she
stuff
thought
like
you
that.
were still on the track for criminal justice.
Yeah.
Good morning, America.
So
hey,
Mom. She wanted me to go and be a police officer. And stuff
when
like
did she realize? Was it when you brought that? Well, you didn't bring it home, the bag of money. When did she know that? Okay, this is what he does.
When other people started talking about what I do for a living.
Okay, so she heard it from other
She started
folks.
hearing other people, and then out of my mouth, really like, oh, I just did this video for this, and it's not clicking with her.
Right, like okay.
She's like, okay. And then out of nowhere, she's like, oh, your son is going on tour with this person. Oh, she's Haitian. She doesn't know.
Right,
If it's not like, until I think that Kylie me, I think some Kylie
are you
concert,
serious?
like, oh, you.
We just went to the Kylie
we just
concert.
Like I said, people are not gonna really believe in you until they see
they see the fruit
they see
of it.
somebody who they actually listen to or they're aware. You get what I mean? So that's when they awake, like, oh wow, you're actually doing this.
And we're going to talk about that Kylie experience history that was made at Emmer Bank Arena. Before we get there, because I know some folks are asking, well, what happened with your siblings? Before we actually delve into you touring and being with some of the biggest artists, with your siblings, when was the point that you guys were actually able to reconnect? Can you go back to that?
As far as my siblings, I kind of wish we had a better relationship.
Okay.
But we was raised in a broken home, so trauma. We're not really as close, but until now we're cordial.
Okay.
But I wasn't the best brother. Because I was dealing with my own trauma because I was the oldest one. So all that weight, we went from hee hee ha ha playing being brothers and sisters to like, hey, you can't do this. So with my siblings, I just feel more so like I could have done better.
Wow.
Be a better brother. But I wasn't raised like that.
Now, if they're watching, I'm sure they're going to see it, and I'm sure everyone is proud of you. If there was something that you could say to them and your mom, what would you say to them?
I'm sorry, I guess. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, I've done what I thought. I grew up, like my dad beating us, like, I put my hands on them. I thought that was what you do to correct. So, I had anger problem back in the days. Like, you could wake me out my sleep. Like, it was bad. Like, if you do, So I regret doing these things now that I'm more wiser and older, but I don't think I've ever actually told them I'm sorry.
Wow.
But they do see the change in me for sure. Once in a while, I'm like, hey, I got this shoe. You want it? But I do wish I could do more. And I am in the best place now with my business. I never thought I would be here in this position, but people think I'm like up there. It might look like it, but I'm actually not mentally because I know my mom is still in that trailer park. So just going there, I'm like, it kills me because I know where I live. I live in a house and like beautiful home, and my kids are happy.
Your
and
wife.
The one person who loves me more is like my mother. I wish I could do something for her, and I just can't.
And I would like to say I'm sure she's super proud of you, and you're continuing to build and to progress and doing what you can. So as you continue to elevate, I'm sure you're doing more than what you could imagine for your mom. I can't speak for her, but I'm sure she's deeply proud of you. So as we still have the time, continue to love. Love on your siblings, love on your mom, love on your family.
I always make sure she gets to her doctor's appointment, and I live like almost 4 hours away. Sometimes if she doesn't have a ride or if I'm free, I offer like even this morning like there was a situation with my hotel, and I had to pretty much like, hey, everything was booked, I guess, because of the race car. What is it? They have
F1,
the F1 thing that they had going on, so all the room was booked. So I'm like,
wow.
I've been reserved my room, but what?
Right.
So she gave me her bed, and and I'm like, what? And I'm like, that, I'm like, man, I was like, God, please use me, God. She can't keep going like this. So that's one thing I've been saying to myself, and
that's what drives you. Is your family is what drives you.
That's what drives me.
And talk about drive, because you've been put on tour from the likes of Scarface, Tank.
I've been on tour where I first started going on tour with Tank. When I met Tank, I didn't quite know who she was, if I'm being honest. I actually went and did one of those drop mic for a local artist by the name of, let me just not say her name either. But I did a free video for her just to give back. She did me a favor, so I returned it.
Okay.
And I already was editing the video there, and I already given it. And Tink assistant was there, and she saw it. And she was like, wow,
they saw
you
your work ethic.
fast.
He's the turnaround king. Like, next day of, you got to pay for it, but next day of, you're not going to wait 3 months for footage.
You get it not even 24 hours sometimes.
Yeah, but you got to pay for that. That's all right. It's worth the money. Okay, so Tink sees it. What happens?
Well, Tink didn't see anything yet. Tink didn't even know who I was either. She just know, oh, we got a photographer that's coming to take pictures, before they get to the club.
Right.
I went and did the job, and I got paid. What I think got her attention was while I was waiting, because she wasn't ready. So while she was getting ready, I was actually taking pictures of her friends that was there.
Okay.
And there's photographers who, when they get in the room, they're like, oh, like, I'm only taking pictures of the person. You get what I mean?
Right.
But my hospitality, I'm Haitian, we show love to everybody. So she was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I was like, you tell me. And then she was like, oh, we having a yacht. Come take some pictures. And I went and did it. And during that time, she was like so happy and jolly, and she was like, "You coming on tour with me?" And I was like, "Tour?" I'm like, "Sure, no problem."
Sure.
Because a lot of time you meet people,
right?
But it didn't click to me
who
she was.
They talking.
Yo digo algo al phone, everybody felt.
Yeah, they say they're gonna do something, they don't do it.
So it's always like that. And then, long story short, she was back in Miami, yacht day again, and I did the job, and she said, "Be ready, Ted. You going on tour with me?" And I'm like.
Sure.
And I'm like, who is she? So I'm like, I gotta find out who she is, cause she is so genuine and kind. I'm like, she don't seem like, I know she's somebody, cause the way she moving, I'm like, yacht, big mansion. I'm like, she has to be somebody.
You didn't know who.
So that's just my truth.
That's fine. Appreciate you being honest.
And then Ashley, that's her assistant. She, showed me her Instagram handle, and I was like, oh. My gosh.
So we get on tour, and then what happens?
Got on tour, performed well.
I
started being on these news outlets. I was like, wow, this is insane. I was in the Shade Room. I was in all these Hollywood on Lock, being tagged. Anything I was doing with her was just like going crazy. And I was like, wow, that is interesting. And
that led to you going on tour with Scarface, and then...
Scarface, and then on tour with her again with Janae Aiko. About to go on tour with her again, hopefully in July, with Keisha Cole.
Nice.
I just landed a tour right now.
Hold it. Don't get there yet. So for you, though, you have this, and congratulations to you. You have a knack for not holding information. I notice because even when we do events, and we'll talk about the Kayami event, you don't mind helping other videographers or camera. No. Where does that come from? Like somebody
from how they treated me.
Oh.
I asked people, hey, how do you do?
And they didn't share.
And then they're like, oh, go on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, okay.
So was that something you always said to yourself, like, okay, if somebody asked me,
especially with how they paid. Like, for example, if I have a PA or an assistant, something like that,
right, or
even the smallest project, they come along, I'll pay them $200. They look at me like, what?
Now
but they do think, do think like, is this full time? Like, is it? I wish.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Soon for come. So, it's coming, baby. The other way.
So like getting paid $30 an hour sometime, it depends, or $50 an hour depending on if it was a short shoot. I'm not gonna pay you less.
Right.
That makes no sense.
Right.
You're paying for your guys, but coming up in the business, like
You weren't treated well,
I
so
wasn't
you want to be
treated
able
well.
to treat other folks
You know what
well.
I mean? And I still had the hood mentality. And if you try me, like, hey, like I'll check you right there. But now it's like I know it's business. You can't take nothing emotional. You can't be emotional about anything.
Right.
And you have to be very, very business savvy.
So how was it for you going to the Kaimi concert and being there?
It was a great experience to me because, man, don't kill me. I've never been to a Haitian club.
I told him, Teddy, when you walk up in here, don't you tell nobody nothing. So just hush now.
I've never been
but
to
for
a Haitian
you,
club.
how was it after
It was
hearing?
amazing to see, like, my people's, like,
right.
I'm like, wow, I've been missing out on a lot. Like, they were so happy and
it was
just,
beautiful.
Like, it was just beautiful. And I'm like, wow, man, like, my people are beautiful, man. I'm like, I missed out.
But you're here now, bud. You're here now.
Mm-hmm.
What did your mom say once she realized that you were there?
I think it was my sister that kind of boosted her up because my
Shout
sister
out,
was
sister.
going crazy. And she was like, I need to get tickets. I'm like, okay, I could get you some tickets, no problem. And then I get her the tickets, and then she was just so happy. She told my mom about it, and then my mom was like, what? And then, so
it was a beautiful moment.
It was a beautiful moment.
A full circle moment, something with your culture that your mom could actually relate to and your family.
They were so kind to the hospitality, everything. And shout out to DJ Stacks. He reached out. He gave me compliments about my work. So I was like, wow, and interesting. Okay, awesome.
Big up to Stacks. That's our brother from another mother. So let's talk about this, Ted. Now you have your business, you have your family, and I notice faith is a big part of your everyday life. How did that come to be? Or why? Where did that come from?
Well, when I was in Miami, it seems like I was chasing the money. So I moved to the house and everything brand new car, everything, and part of me was just felt empty still.
Okay.
And it's like I was just fighting with myself, I guess. I was unhappy in a way. I don't know how to
So you were
explain
gaining
that.
the traction, but there was still a hole.
Yeah, it was just still a hole, and it was like I was missing something. And then I kind of like felt like I should go to church. And my wife, she go to church every Sunday. She go to church every Sunday. She a prayer warrior,
Oh, amen.
She walk around strapped.
A woman of God, a woman of God.
So that's one of the things you would like to have in your life, someone who, who worship God and have God in their life. They know, God is,
God is good and real.
Good. So I had it in me to ask her, and then out of nowhere she walks up to me. It's like she heard my thoughts. She's like, "Would you like to go to church with us?" And when we was in Miami, she asked me she used to ask me, and she stopped. She got stopped for a while because I always say no.
No.
Like I said, I was chasing the money, chasing the wrong thing.
Okay.
And then when I was there, something in me told me that I asked her to go to church with her. And
you went to church?
I went to church.
Okay. How was it? What was it like?
It was good. It's been a while since I've been to church, so I was like seeing how people was like, wow, it's like everybody's still hurting. Everybody need help. So the pastor seemed like he was a good pastor at that time when I didn't know, because usually when they start talking about money, I feel uncomfortable. I'm like, but I didn't know that was something that you have to do.
Tithing, right?
Tithing and that's always give back to God and His kingdom.
Nice.
And now it's like I'm like when I don't give back, I'm like, God, I owe you money.
You got that conviction in your spirit.
So when I did that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go again for the second Sunday. I went to the second Sunday. The third Sunday, I felt like I was sick, so I'm like, I don't want to go. I told her I don't want to go. She asked me again, so I don't want to go. So she said, okay, no problem. She got dressed with the kids and
went.
Got in the car, and then I hear that voice in my head say, "Get up." And I'm like, I don't want to go to church. And then I hear that voice again, and then I just, just get up.
Okay.
And then I quickly threw myself in the shower, and I'm like, got out. I'm like, I'm not even dressed. I'm like, hey, did you leave already? I'm like, she left.
Yeah, right.
So she like, oh, I'm already 10 minutes away. I'm like, I'm already dressed. And she was like, you told me not to go to church. She said, okay, I'll turn around. And she doesn't miss church for nobody.
So she said, husband,
So
come
she
here,
ended
I'm
up
going
turning.
back.
But even if she did not turn,
You would've
turn,
found
I
your
would
way.
have drive myself there
Right,
because
but
I
she
feel like I
turned around.
had to go.
Nice, okay.
So I went, and then I was just feeling sick. So I started praying during my ride going to the church, and I was really praying. I was in my head praying, and then I was praying, I felt this windy breeze, and I don't know where somebody touched me on my shoulder. I said, because if you try to pray, like asking God, like please come, like.
What was your prayer? Do you remember what you prayed?
It was more so like remove anything of me that is ungodly, like if there's a bad spirit or witchcraft, whatever it is, because you don't know how people look at you or even envy you or anything like that. So I started praying like that, and then I felt that breeze, and then I felt that touch, and I said, but it was the best feeling I've ever felt.
Wow.
It was, and
there was peace.
Yes, and I remember his name is Brother Jamison, and he's one of the youth leader.
Okay.
So he touched me, and I felt that relief, and I thought it was God that touched me. I got scared, but that was the Holy Spirit in him that came and touched me. That heard.
Say that again.
That was the Holy Spirit in him that heard me and came to confront me.
Whew.
So whatever that was in me, whatever that was in me, like God was like, that needs to be removed.
Wow.
So.
This was when you get to church. This
that
was
third
in church.
That third Sunday that I had to go to church.
Wow.
So long story short,
third Sunday.
The pastor started talking. No, I heard the voice in my head again. It's like my own voice. It's just weird to ask the pastor to baptize you. I'm like, I'm not about to ask the pastor to baptize me. And then I don't know where he started talking about baptism, and I'm like, what is this?
Holy Spirit don't.
And then so I'm like, I was disobeying the voice in my head, And out of nowhere, as I'm praying, and the pastor was right there walking up to me. And then I'm like, oh my gosh. And then my mouth just moved. When can I get baptized?
Say your mouth.
Mama, I'm not even making this up.
Right.
I'm aware of what's happening.
Right.
But it's like, it's just doing it.
It just came out. So what happens after that?
So he was happy. And said, can you come tonight? I'm like, tonight? I'm already like, let's go. Too fast now. But I just know it was supposed to happen. And then before he walked away, he like, whatever you're going to be dealing with before you come, fight it. And I'm like, what? Wow. So I felt more sick when I got. But I was okay when I went back home. And then when it was like time to go back to church, I started feeling like sick, like I've never felt before.
But you got back up, you get to the church?
I still fought it and prayed throughout the whole ride.
Do you remember what your prayer was through the ride?
I was just more so like asking God to detach anything that is, ungodly and whatever it is, because there had to be something attached to me, because if I'm feeling like this. Wow. You get what I mean? So I went, I'm thinking like, I'm going to go, I'm going to be getting baptized right there. No. So the whole service, I'm like, I'm praising God, praying, enjoying the whole service, and then at the end of it, Brother Dazor, I said, oh my gosh, it's time. And my wife had a bag for me ready.
So
towel.
She knew. So God was
ready.
Probably already talking to her. Okay.
Yeah, she already had it, and then she had this little smirk on her face, and I'm like,
she ain't say nothing.
So I went, and I'm thinking that, I'm gonna get dipped in the water, and I got to do the work mentally. It didn't happen like that. I went in that water, and something got in me. Wow. And it was like the most electrifying feeling that I've ever felt before, and I couldn't control it. But then again, I feel like I died in that water. But then the old me, whatever that was. So that was like the most. Like it was unknown. I don't know how to explain it, but it happened.
It was an experience.
I didn't really
an encounter. That's the word.
It was an encounter, but I had to see a video of myself. Going through that, and I'm like, I don't remember doing this, but it's like I felt like it was like a lot of blackout, like passing out.
But the experience.
I had no energy to lift my body up. They were just praying over me, and I started splashing myself, and then as I think we counted to get the videos like 60 times that I threw water on myself. Wow. I don't even know what that means. Wow. So I guess whatever that was, I was just washing it away. Yeah. So, and that happened. But before that, right that third Sunday when I was walking in the morning, there was this guy. He was wearing red.
Mm-hmm.
It was this white man. He was wearing red, and there was something about him that it was something about him I couldn't even explain. But I just know it was an energy there. Like I felt like he was going through his own problem.
Mm-hmm.
But long story short, when I finished getting baptized, the Holy Spirit told me to tell him he's next. I'm like, I'm about to tell this man he's next. He's gonna think I'm crazy. And then
so you listened. You
yeah, they were all walking up to me, shaking my hand, congratulations. They gave me a certificate.
That's a
and
real
then he
party.
walking up to me, but you could see the fear in his eye.
Oh.
And there you go, my body moving.
You told him.
Yo, I told him. God told me you're next. He started crying.
You cried.
I said, what did I do?
But it was joy. It was more of relief. Crying.
He was crying, like scared, like, because he knew something about me.
So he done been dealt with.
It's like,
yeah.
to see somebody go through whatever that was going through in that water.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, are you talking about you next?
But the Lord was already talking to him in that.
So that was like,
yeah.
Hey, you're next.
Wow.
So.
And he knew. That was probably the confirmation.
I don't know what happened to him, but I don't think I've seen him. I think I scared him, but he probably come once in a while. Maybe he come in a different time of the service.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was probably a confirmation, because if he cried like that, that means he probably done been hearing like you was hearing from. Okay. Well, you were, what's the word? You were obedient. And since that time for you.
I changed my music playlist, but it's not like, it's like I don't want to listen to certain songs anymore.
Yeah.
If I do listen to it, it's not really me listening to it. It's somebody else, and I just, what can I do? It's their song. I can't tell them, hey, turn off your music.
Right. So you kind of changed your lifestyle.
I kind of changed my life, but even when that happened, I fasted for, I think, a day and a half.
Oh, wow.
I've never fasted for my life.
Wow.
I don't know nothing about fasting.
What happened after you fasted?
More so like after everything happened, I remember looking at myself in the mirror and knowing that, who are you? Like literally looking into my eyes in the mirror saying, who are you? And I didn't recognize myself.
So who are you?
I am a children of God. I am who He needs me to be. So that's what I pray and ask God to make me be more like you. And please, I know for sure, like, I ask God, please forgive me for who I've been. Because I've been a man of, walking in sin, in a sinful world. So I need to be cleansed. And that's what He did for me. He cleansed me. And now I got to do the work.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
That's deep, bruh. I didn't even know we was going to go that deep, but we going to go there. So thank you so much for being transparent and open. I know it's an everyday walk for all of us. And you're just continuing to elevate, because now you're officially going on tour with
Patti LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle.
Well, the tour is called The Queens. It's a bunch of
Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle.
Oh man, it's
the list.
You guys have to go get it. The thing is, I think it's bpctickets.com to get your tickets.
So people, and you came off of Coachella as well. And that was a great experience. And that
was a crazy experience. I was near Ed Sheeran, like CJ, Justin Bieber.
Really quick, what was the most exciting part of that? Really quick.
Actually, it was seeing Tink. Because that's something she actually wanted to do.
Oh, and so seeing her big screen.
So her big screen. So to see her, like, so happy. And seeing me, like, she was, like, it was open arms. It was, like so happy. That calmed me down. And, I don't like to fly.
Right.
And even before I even flew, like, something happened in Boca Raton. A plane crashed.
Yeah.
So I'm literally about to get boarded into my plane. And then I look on TikTok, and then they're talking about a plane crash.
Oh, no.
So I feel like I was going to catch anxiety at that moment.
Oh, no.
And then I get a notification. And then that notification literally just reminded me that God is in control.
Ladies and gentlemen,
all that fear had to be pushed down.
And you got through Coachella. You're about to go on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Haitian Greatness, I want to ask you, when you hear that, what does that mean to you?
Haitian Greatness is just overcoming every obstacle that's thrown at you. Not really letting other people judge you based on who you are, where you come from. You just gotta push it and bring God along with it.
That's all right.
And you'll go far.
Haitian Greatness, ladies and gentlemen, TeddsPro. I know you got to do some other shoots, so I'm grateful that you were able to take some seconds and times out for us to be back in front of the camera, okay? So if people want to connect with you, and I believe you have some courses and classes that you're going to end up developing and starting your own course. I don't know.
I get that question all the time,
it's
but I let God handle that.
Hey, man, where can people find you and connect with you?
I'm mostly on social
TeddsPro.
I'm mostly on social media. That's really where I make all my income. So my Instagram is TeddsPro. That's TE2DSPRO.
And one thing that you would want to say to someone who's trying to get in this videography
pick up your phone.
Field, pick up your phone.
Just keep shooting.
Hashtag.
Use whatever you have. Go to the park.
That's good.
Use your brothers and sisters. Use your wife and kids. Just do it. Somebody's going to see it and they're going to ask you, hey, can you go do this?
One thing not to do.
One thing not to do?
That you learned.
Give up.
That's good. One thing not to do.
Give up.
That's good. I like that. Haitian Greatness, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Merci, merci, Ampil. Until next time, keep being great and bring God with you. That's good. I think I'm going to keep that. Keep being great and bring God with you. God bless, stay beautiful, make a difference out there. You know how we ended off. Love you for free. You got to do the hurry. Love you for free.
Cause you were meant to fly. Just don't look down, you'll be okay. Ready for revival. Time has come to rise up. We will not be silenced from the west, change my around us.
Money can't buy life when your spirit broke. Take a peep from their mind and their body gone. We've been singing the same song now for too long. Take a paper, pen, and pad, go to school on them. But never stop being a student in this game, homie. A squared plus B squared, we see the results. Been through the trenches and still we tread on.